For centuries, food and wine have proved to be a winning combination. Like a great marriage, they just seem to bring out the best in each other. Now, Rudolf van Veen, a world-renowned chef from the Netherlands, is on a mission to unearth the secrets of this complex and passionate partnership. Rudolf's quest will take him to one of the world's finest wine-producing regions, Spain. From grapes to glass, the barrel to the bottle, Rudolf is out to discover the magical ingredients required to produce vintage classics worth millions of euros. Traveling across the country, meeting wine families' dynasties, discovering delicious local dishes and creating mouth-watering new recipes along the way, can he solve the mystery of one of the world's greatest pleasures? In today's program, Rudolf will be traveling to the Duero Valley, on the border between Spain and Portugal, and taste two of the most typical Spanish products, ham and cheese. And we'll get to know Salamanca, a World Heritage Site. He'll cook on the spectacular Duero River and make a toast with another wonderful wine. So without further ado, let's set sail on our next adventure. Salamanca, the Duero Valley, Los Arribes, a spectacular canyon that acts as a natural border, La Dehesa, a typical wood from this area, buffaloes, sheep, olive oil.
This is the Duero River, and there's Portugal, and this is Spain. And right here is Los Arribes. And now I'm going to look to some vineyards from a whole different perspective.
Rudolf is on the border between the Spanish provinces of Salamanca and Zamora, and between two countries, Spain and Portugal. The River Duero is often called the River of Wine because it's lined by vineyards on either side. Its river basin is the largest in Spain and one of the richest in Europe in terms of its natural beauty and historic and cultural importance. This part of the river flows between dehesas and canyons. These vineyards belong to Haciendas de España, or States of Spain, one of our stops on this trip. In theory, the soil in this area isn't the best for winemaking, but experts like Carmelo Angulo have managed to get the most out of the local grapes by mixing them with other grape types, such as Tempranillo or Juan García.
Vamos a ver algo muy especial, que es un viñedo enclavado en un parque natural que rodea a su vez a un complejo enoturístico donde elaboramos y criamos el vino que procede de las uvas de este propio viñedo. La plantación son 62 hectáreas de viñedo en un terreno característico de la zona. Entendemos que tanto en la viña como en todos los sectores de la vida hay que innovar. Entonces aquí lo que hacemos es mantener lo que es las características tradicionales de la zona de Arribes, pero plantando un viñedo con técnicas modernas y con variedades internacionales. 35 hectáreas son de Tempranillo, que es la variedad de mayor calidad autóctona de España, y luego hemos plantado 20 hectáreas de Syrah, que es una de las variedades que nosotros pensamos que tiene unas características muy especiales y muy de acorde con las características del microclima de los Arribes, y luego en plan experimental tenemos plantado Merlot, Malbec y Cabernet.
Well, I don't think I can beat you. So you win. I mean, the first glass of wine is on me, okay?
Vamos a probar, a catar en barrica el Syrah, un Syrah del 2011. Ya verás qué potencia y qué estructura tiene este vino.
Okay, I always say yes. Oh. Ah. Oh, you already get the smell. But you're spoiling a lot.
La cata en barrica no se hace, como ves, de una manera muy regular, porque hay un derrame del vino. Hay una costumbre de los visitantes en bodega que normalmente cuando van viendo las barricas, el gesto que hacen es
¿Sí?
a ver si está llena.
They're home.
Es un vino intenso, de mucho color,
It's very dark.
algo de aceituna negra.
It's like we're going to dance. I mean,
Bailar.
it's really light. This is an elegant red wine. It's friendly. Yeah.
The winemaking region of Arribes del Duero is relatively young, and traditionally, the wines are made in small family-run cellars. The vineyards in this nature reserve are part of the Haciendas de España project, leaders in the sector for producing good quality wines and innovating winemaking techniques in the area. Amongst these vines is where Rudolf will find the wine that he's going to use for his recipes. Ham is another essential ingredient in Spanish cuisine. The Iberico ham is made from pigs that are reared in the dehesa according to a time-old tradition, giving it a distinct flavor. There is a specific type of Iberico ham that has a especially good reputation, the so-called pata negra or black foot, due to the black hooves of the pig. The ham making and curing process follows some strict guidelines that begins with diet of the pigs, which should always be fed acorns and grass seeds. Then the time that they are salted is also precisely measured, 1 day per kilo, at a temperature of between 1 and 5 degrees centigrade, and with 80% to 90% humidity. These demands guarantee a high-quality product with a unique flavor, a delicate flavor that strikes a balance between sweet and savor, and an aroma that's both subtle and complex. At first glance, there are several ways to recognize an authentic pata negra. The shape of the leg should be slender and long, without any sharp angles, and should not be dry to the touch. Its color ranges from pink to purple. The fat should appear as a shiny, continuous line and be soft to the touch. And in order to enjoy the ham at its best, it should be very finely sliced. Rudolf will be preparing his first dish of the day on this stretch of the River Duero, lined by granite cliffs on either side. It's a setting that calls for something fresh and not too heavy.
A perfect time for a perfectly simple salad. A salad of green beans, white beans, black olives, and a simple dressing, topped or even crowned by a jambon iberico. So let's start at the beginning. You just put some water on the fire with salt and then cut your green beans into slices, just thin slices. Cook your green beans only for a minute, just to blanch them. You want a fresh and green color. Strain them through a sieve, let them cool down in some cold water. Cut the jambon or the iberico ham, but not in too small pieces. And then your green beans. Strain them again, and then mix your green beans with some white beans, some black olives, pepper and salt, a little bit of good olive oil, and no vinegar, no lemon. Mix it together with your jambon and you have a beautiful salad, a perfect combination with a good red wine.
But it won't be the only treat that he'll be cooking on board. He has another surprise in store. The Arribes Nature Reserve offers a spectacular landscape dissected by waterways of the River Duero that keep the earth incredibly fertile. Apart from its stunning beauty, the canyon and the dehesa are guardians of another natural treasure. The dehesa in the Duero Valley is the land of the finest Iberico ham and the very best cheeses. And it's here that Rudolf will visit an organic farm specializing in these delights. It's also the home of Castilian churra sheep and Campania buffaloes.
I'm standing at the entrance of the organic farm in the Duero Valley. So let's see what treasures I can uncover.
In order to find out more about this organic farm, specializing in cheese, olive oil, and other Iberico products, Rudolf will be guided by organic food expert Gema Gambero.
Just look at these great animals.
Es una búfala que les encanta ahora en verano estar todo el día metidos en agua. Las tenemos aquí porque nuestra idea es hacer mozzarella en un futuro. Lo primero que queremos es que se adapten al clima y vayan teniendo alguna cría para que vayan produciendo leche. Cuando tengamos una producción estabilizada, empezar a elaborar la mozzarella.
the sound of the bells.
Estas son las ovejas churras, que elaboramos los quesos de leche cruda, los quesos de pasta dura y de pasta blanda, y las cabras de la raza Verata, que están en peligro de extinción. Todos los quesos nuestros son quesos elaborados con leche cruda. Ahora vamos a degustar los quesos elaborados con la leche de las ovejas y de las cabras que hemos visto. El sonido es un sonido compacto, quiere decir que está bien formado por dentro.
Beautiful shape of the cheese. Yeah. It is both creamy and flavorful.
Sí.
It's real soft in texture.
Sí, es muy suave. El segundo queso que vamos a catar lo sumergimos en vino. Al final el queso acaba cogiendo los aromas del vino. Ahora vamos por el siguiente queso. Es un queso de oveja leche cruda que tiene de curación aproximadamente 12 meses. El olor es más intenso, a leche de oveja, un fruto seco tostado. Hay quesos que los comes y al final te dejan un sabor muy fuerte, pero estos quesos te dejan la boca llena de aromas. Este es el último queso.
It's smiling at me,
Es el queso elaborado con leche cruda de oveja, pero es una pasta blanda. Y aquí lo que se busca es la textura cremosa.
Just looks fantastic. This is the smoothest cheese ever. This definitely is my favorite.
Con este vino blanco marida muy bien todos los quesos. Hacemos la prueba.
That's a rich aroma. Yes, this is a great wine. I just have to try the maridaje of this again. You know, I really feel privileged to get so close to the source, because it seems that all you need here is a fascination for food and a desire to make good things.
Another essential ingredient in the local cuisine is olive oil. Rudolf will discover the distinct flavor of olives from Los Arribes, and to tell us more about this key ingredient in Spanish cooking is Jaime Bobille, representative of Haciendas de España, that includes the organic farm.
El color no es importante, por eso los cataceites son de color azul, para que no haga falta fijarse en el color.
It already starts.
Vamos a taparlo primero e impregnamos las paredes para que se concentren los aromas. ¿Okay?
Okay.
Wow. ¿Qué?
You know, to be honest, it's like you smell it and you, but then in a positive way.
Vamos a poner un poco de aceite aquí. ¿Okay? Ahí, mojamos con pan, nariz. Y en boca está impresionante. Y ahora vamos a probarlo con un poquito de queso.
This is not honest. There should be a door in your television screen or a window that I could say, here, go ahead, have a bit.
Apart from the cuisine, wines and wonderful landscape, the Duero Valley is well known for its art, culture and history. These lands have had a colorful past. The Romans, the Arabs, and Celtiberian tribes all passed through this area. As you can imagine, this region has many stories to tell, and Rudolf is going to hear one that features an illustrious traveler. It so happens that this old monastery is used these days as a sanctuary for wine. It was here that the explorer Christopher Columbus prepared the trip that will lead him to America. He discovered new worlds, just as Rudolf will discover new flavors and maridajes. This is Hacienda Zorita, a wonderful place to wind down and enjoy all that wine has to offer. And Rudolf is here with Jaime Bobille, one of the founders of this wine hotel.
Bueno, las primeras noticias que se tienen de Zorita se remontan a 1366, en el siglo XIV, el que fue una hacienda de los dominicos, y lo más especial es que estuvo aquí alojado por los frailes dominicos Cristóbal Colón en 1487.
And these rooms were used as lodgings for laborers who cultivated the vines for more than 500 years ago.
The life and soul of this estate is the wine cellar Marqués La Concordia, as a tribute to José Abascal, a viceroy of Peru and one of the founding members of Haciendas de España. Its ceiling is an imitation of the hull of one of Columbus's ships. The 1,800 barrels resting in the cellar are immersed in history.
Aquí albergamos la crianza de nuestros dos vinos de la hacienda. Tenemos un total de 1.812 barricas de roble francés y americano que albergan la crianza de la Hacienda Zorita Tempranillo, que procede del viñedo de los Arribes del Duero. Y en la parte delantera, que la vamos a llegar, en la parte más noble, tenemos la crianza, 32 barricas, solo 32, que albergan la crianza del vino premium de la hacienda.
This is so impressive, but the ceiling, it's also impressive.
Ah, sí. Bueno, es que la cubierta tiene una historia muy especial. Tiene forma de nave invertida, como si fuese una de las naves de Colón, la Pinta, la Niña o la Santa María, en homenaje a la estancia de Colón en Hacienda Zorita.
This is the river Tormes. It's a tributary to the Duero. And I'm looking for a recipe with history to fit this beautiful and idyllic setting.
The entire estate has been designed with meticulous detail in order to create a center of excellence completely devoted to wine. The slow concept is the philosophy that defines this estate. The wines must mature slowly because the pace of life in this old monastery of the river Tormes is also slow. Slow, patient, meticulous, and full of love and care. It's the perfect setting to inspire Rudolf's second dish of the day, a recipe with the spirit of Arribes del Duero, a dish to honor the spectacular landscape, the canyons, the vineyards, the dehesa, a world that takes its time.
If you're looking for some great food to go with this wine, try this dish. Just take some tender lamb meat. I've got a piece of the leg of lamb, the upper side. Cut it in cubes and fry them off in some olive oil. Wait until it's hot. Really let them roast a little, like 5 minutes or so. Meanwhile, chop some garlic, about 2 cloves. Add the garlic to the meat. Then, while your meat is still roasting, add some paprika powder to your meat. And then chop an onion. Just peel it and slice it into like half slices, very thinly. And just fry them together with your meats. But don't fry them too much. Then at the final stage, some lemon juice and some chopped parsley. And that's it. This will be wonderful. Maybe some pepper and salt, and that's it. And then the salsa. The salsa is red onion, just finely chopped, together with some tomatoes. You don't use the pits or the cores, just the meaty part of the tomato, just in cubes, that's it, like a real salsa. And then not the Mexican way like with cilantro or coriander, but just mint. Mint and lamb meat go perfectly well together. Finally, flavor your salsa with some red wine vinegar and some good quality olive oil. Just mix it together. And then you dish it up. First your meat, your tender lamb, and then your salsa. A few scoops of this lovely salsa. And this is perfect with these wonderful Salamanca red wines. Where did it all start? The chicken or the egg? Well, I can't see a chicken, but here is an egg. So I think I start here, because inside this shell is a whole new world of exploration. I mean, hard-boiled eggs, soft-boiled eggs, scrambled eggs, omelets. And Christopher Columbus managed to get an egg stand on its tip, because this was a way, he was saying, things seem impossible until we try them. So let's try it.
Just 8 kilometers from Hacienda Zorita is the historic city of Salamanca, where the first university in Spain was founded, and where Christopher Columbus convinced the Spanish throne to finance his journey. This UNESCO-accredited city has a population of 200,000. It is, without doubt, a magical place. It's time for Rudolf to reveal his surprise dish on board the boat, a delicious dessert inspired by wine from these borderlands.
Would it be a waste to use a good Syrah wine to make a dessert? I don't think so. Yes, I'm gonna treat myself with a very nice dessert made with the Shiraz wine. I'm gonna start with some fruits. Take some white grapes, put them in a wine glass. Take some blackberries, some raspberries, and then the sabayon or zabalione or wine sauce. You just take 2 egg yolks and a whole egg. around 4 scoops of sugar, or if you're very sweet, just 5 or 6. And then a full-bodied glass of wine. This nice red and fruity wine, the Shiraz wine. Put them together in a bowl over a pan of boiling water and just whip it up. When your sauce is foamy and airy and tasty, you'll pour it over your ripe fruits. And now the proof of the pudding is in the eating, of course. But who is steering this boat? You aren't? Help!
Yes.
Help!
After a well-earned dessert, it's time for our chef to take a look at a very special city. Salamanca is famous for its history, but it's also a city full of surprises, like this restaurant that specializes in eggs.
My trip to Salamanca brought me to this remarkable place, because this is a small bar and they're specialized in eggs dishes. But look here, it's not just chicken eggs. It's partridge, duck, emu, the black egg, many eggs, and they're all fried, so these dishes must look very exciting, I think.
This is the Plaza Mayor, one of the centerpieces of Salamanca. It was constructed in the 18th century, and it's an example of the best Baroque art. It's certainly impressive. In a restaurant with a balcony overlooking the plaza is where Rudolf has reached the end of his journey through the Duero Valley, where he savored the wines of Arribes del Duero and cooked aboard a boat.
On one side you see Portugal, which is Miranda del Douro, and this is Spain.
He found out all about organic cheeses and stayed in a special place where Christopher Columbus once left before arriving here, in the very first university city in Europe.
Well, here I have to end my maridaje of the Duero Valley and the Arribes. But onwards to my next port of call, because there are many more worlds to discover.
And so here the story draws to an end, in Salamanca, on a splendid midsummer's evening.
And to finish off with an appropriate Spanish saying, with a good cheese and an even better wine, the journey's done in less time.
In the next program, our Dutch chef will take a tour of a land of extremes, of bitter winters and boiling summers. He will meet the lord of these lands, the Iberico pig, and be introduced to another highly respected member of his court, the brave bull. He will learn traditional monkish recipes and cook up another delicious dish by the vineyards of a renowned winery, Caraval. All this and more on our next stop, Extremadura.